Hey there guys, over here today bringing my F1 2014 career mode, and we're here with part 18 for the Brazilian Grand Prix, and it's looking like a very overcast weekend for this race. We've got rain forecasted for the qualifying and the race, so it's going to be a very tough weekend indeed. And in practice, no R&D tests to do. We've actually run out of R&D tests, no more R&D tests for the rest of the season, so we've got the car now, it's fully upgraded, so we've just got to go to the end. Two more races, as you can see, 90% chance of rain in the race, 12% in qualifying, so that will make it very interesting indeed. We're gonna have to go for a lot higher downforce setup. Here at Brazil, obviously you got long swooping corners, so I think we're gonna have to go quite high on the wings, especially on the rear, to make sure I can be, you know, sort of competitive in the wet. I mean, it's pretty impossible to be completely competitive in the wet against the AI on this game, I think. But going through the practice results, we came in 7th place, but practice was completely dry, so we don't know how that's going to pan out. But that was with the dry setup, so we'll have to see. In Q1, we're on intermediate conditions, so this was the pace in intermediates in Q1. We came in 2nd place, 300ths of a second, basically, behind Lewis Hamilton. That was Q1 in inters. But then in Q2, it actually got dry. For Q2 and Q3 it was actually dry, so in Q2 we finished up in 9th place, so this is actually quite a lot like practice was. You remember practice, we just saw I finished up at, what was it, in 7th place in practice in dry conditions, but with the wet setup, and in Q2 when it got dry we finished in 9th place, so practice was actually spot on to where we were going to be on pace in the dry with this wetter setup. Obviously in intermediate conditions it helps a lot because we got into 2nd place there on Q1, but now we've come into Q3. As you can see, it is another dry session. We've put the brakes to front because I actually brought the brake bias back for the wet setup, but we're going to have to bring it to the front now for the dry lap, because in the dry lap we can really slam on the brakes and not worry about locking up too much. We're on the rich mix, we're on the faster option tyre, the white wall medium tyre, and here we go down to the start of the lap for this first flying lap of Q3. Here we go, DRS wide open, now down to the first corner, very tricky corner, long swooping left-hander, goes into a chicane of the right corner, and that was the center S. Now we go down the main back straight. Now here we'll open DRS once again. We should just about get into 8th gear, I would think. Here we go, just about get into 8th gear. Obviously we're running quite high wings here. I believe my rear wing is about 9, my front is about 10, so quite high wings here at Brazil on the dry setup. Obviously in the dry usually you'd want to maybe run at least 4.3 on the wings, but obviously I'm gone for that dry for that more wet setup, that more downforce packed setup. So here we come into the 2nd sector now. This is where I'm losing a lot of time, especially through this corner, especially this one right here that we're going through. AI very good on the traction coming out that corner, so that we're going to have to be wary of that in the race. But so far it's been a tidy lap, but to be honest our setup is so leaning towards the intermediate conditions. It's going to be very tough for us to match or beat, you know, what we did in practice and in Q1 maybe. I think we may be down for another maybe 8th to 9th place finish. So let's see how we go. Obviously we're first on track, so the times are saying purple, but obviously all the AI yet to set their times yet. But here we go, opening DRS down the main pit straight, and here we go for a 1:14.2 basically, and unfortunately that is not enough to get us any higher than 9th place. Our teammate in 8th, so both of us Williams doing very poor 8th and 9th, so it looks like maybe this is just where the car is. We beat Button in 10th place, but Rosberg on pole, Lewis Hamilton 2nd, Alonso 3rd. 9th place, the best we could do, unfortunate, but here we go onto the race, and annoyingly, it's starting off dry, so 90% chance of rain. Definitely is going to rain at some point. I've never seen on this game where it said 90% or around 80% and it hasn't rained when it started dry. So it is definitely going to rain at some point. It just, you know, matters when. 90% you can pretty much guess it's going to at least rain within the first 10 laps, I would say. But we're starting the dry tyres, so we hopefully can get a good start. We will be a bit slower than the AI on outright raw pace in the dry here because we've got that wet downforce setup. But hopefully we'll get a good start. Obviously the AI are known for not having the best of starts. They're pretty good on traction getting off the line when the 5 red lights go out, but they're actually quite poor into the first few corners. So hopefully we can jump a few of them, and then we'll see how it goes on the intermediates. But here we go, Nico Rosberg in 1st place on pole, and Lewis Hamilton 2nd place. My teammate in 8th place, and I'm in 9th right behind him. So there he is on the left of us. Here we go to 5 red lights for the Brazilian Grand Prix, the 2nd last race of the season. Let's make it a good one. 5 red lights, and we are off and getting a pretty good start, actually massively better start than our teammate there, who's bogged down massively. He's got a lot of wheel spin, but on my left, Button is really creeped up on the left there. Now we're going to go around the outside of Massa and a Ferrari, and Button down the inside of Ricciardo and Hulkenberg, and round the outside of Alonso Alonso indeed. So we've made mega positions up there, and we're up to 4th place now in the Grand Prix. Awesome stuff from 9th to 4th. So we went round pretty much all of them, apart from the top 3 there, Vettel and the 2 Mercedes just a bit too far ahead. But we really went round Alonso quite easily there on the second corner around the outside of him. Now we're going to try and stick with Vettel and the 2 Mercedes. Alonso right behind me, 3/10 back. But let's see if we can try and hang on to them in the second sector. Here we come. Obviously higher fuel, maybe the AI are going to be a bit cautious into the braking zone, and they are in fact, because we've closed up on Vettel a bit. But now coming through this next corner, as I said in qualifying, here you go. You just see that, look, the amount of time Vettel just gains through that exit of that corner, the amount of time Alonso gains on me to the back of me is just insane. So the AI really competitive there in the second sector, so we have to watch out. But I think on the first sector definitely we will have the pace on them, or just about have it with them. So here we go through the last corner, or pretty much the penultimate corner, as they class this kind of kink as a corner, I believe, but it's not really a corner, is it? Still in 4th place, but saying that, Alonso is coming right up behind me, so he's going to try and grab 4th place from me. Let's go down to the first corner. He's actually got me. I'm going to try and slipstream him. Can we try and dive around the outside? Let's see. Dive around the outside. Here we go. Can we get Alonso? Here we go, side by side, and we've actually got him around the outside. So great move there to get 4th place back. Had a snap of oversteer. Alonso's going to come back at us, maybe. Here he goes. He's got the momentum going for him. I've been pushed to the wide. Alonso on my left, Hulkenberg on my right. It's a 3-way sandwich down the back straight. Here we go. Can we keep 4th place? Just about there. And Rosberg up ahead, going very slowly indeed. Can we get Rosberg as well? Rosberg's gone very slowly, so we've overtaken Alonso and Hulkenberg. Can we get Rosberg? Looks like he's been squeezed out from the lead. He was in 1st place, I believe. Looks like he's been squeezed out. Can we get him coming into the second sector now? Really closed up on braking, but that Mercedes is going to have the downforce. And through this corner, you'll see he gets away from us, just like Vettel did on the first lap. And that's the action over for us against Rosberg. Unfortunately, Rosberg will just get away from us. So on to the end of lap 2, you can see he's already got a bit of a gap. Hulkenberg is really down my chuff. Here we go. On the right-hand side of the track, Hulkenberg goes. This time I'm going to go down the inside of him versus the outside of Alonso on the last lap. Down the inside, side by side, giving Hulkenberg the room, though. He was still there onto the second corner, the second part of the center S. And going down the main pit straight now, back straight now, and no DRS yet. It's going to be activated this next lap, but Hulkenberg's really chasing me now, and he nearly got me there. He just didn't have enough space there. I kind of parked it in the middle of the track, so it was quite awkward for him. We stayed in 4th place. So right now getting hampered by the lack of straight line speed. As you can see on the straights again, Hulkenberg comes down my inside. Really, this higher downforce setup is really not helping as we touch Hulkenberg a tiny bit, as I'm trying to go to the left hand side of the track, trying to keep with him in the slipstream. He's got DRS now. We're going to try and dive down the outside. Here we go, side by side, a bit closer than it was with Alonso. I've gone really wide there on the first part of the center S, and we've really got a tank slapper there. We're going to have, oh my god, a lot of oversteer. Hulkenberg's got us now. I think that may be it. He's got DRS. Yes, that is it. I think that's pretty much move done for Hulkenberg. Unfortunate. I was going to say we may have just re-overtaken him through the second part of the center S, but we got a horrible snap of oversteer in the left-hander towards the back straight, kind of a tank slapper, if you will. And Hulkenberg has got the place now, so he's in 4th place. We're down to 5th, and now cutting on to lap 9. As you can see, the rain is starting to come down. It's actually been coming down for a few laps now, and as you can see, the tyres are starting to get cold. In this second sector especially, the rain is definitely coming down. You can see the spray is coming off the right front tyre there on the inside, so definitely time maybe for the intermediate tyres. I'm definitely feeling the lack of grip here in the second sector. The AI are still doing quite well. As you can see on the mini-map, I'm sort of got a bit of a train behind me. I'm not really holding them up too much at this point, but the train is there because Alonso can't get past me. And saying that, we've just got a huge tank slapper through a left-hander. Alonso may be able to close up even more. I've set the tyres to intermediates. I think it's definitely maybe time to come in as we're really struggling on traction here. My car keeps on moving to the left-hand side of the track here. Alonso goes down our inside just about, but no, he touches us. And now Ricciardo's overtaken him. We're going to come into the pits. I was moving to the left-hand side to come into the pits. I think Alonso was a bit confused and we tapped there. But we come into the pits. The AI, as they always do, they stay out one more lap or a few more laps because they can handle the intermediate conditions compared to me. Just a lot of lack of grip for me versus the AI. So here we go onto the green wall intermediate tyres. Now, obviously in Q1 you saw we came in 2nd place in Q1. So he is hoping that pace translates over to here for the race on lap 10, coming out on the intermediate tyres. Hopefully we can at least re-overtake all those cars and get ahead of Alonso and come out in 5th place. Let's see if we can maybe try and gain a bit on Hulkenberg. I believe the gap was about 7 to 8 seconds to Hulkenberg when I came into the pits, so it's going to be a bit tricky to get 4th place back from Hulkenberg, but let's see. But coming to this next part of the track, it's actually still a bit dry there, so you can see my car was struggling quite a bit, had a bit of a slide there, as it's still a bit dry, bit too dry in that first sector. Coming to the second sector, is definitely wet enough in the second sector. You can see the spray is massive on the right front tyre now compared to what it was on the previous laps, and Gutierrez is really struggling there. You can see his car kind of twitching around on the rear. Let's try and dive down the inside of Gutierrez, just getting the place done, up into 17th place now on the intermediate tyres. So definitely I think it's time now. This is the crossover period between intermediates and the dry tyres. I definitely think this is the right kind of lap to be on now, and hopefully we will have made the right decision and we can just re-jump and re-overtake all the cars ahead, which included Alonso, Ricciardo and the like, and behind him was actually Vettel, who really struggled in the first stint. So here we come down the main pit straight now. We're going to try and overtake all these cars, and it should be an easy re-overtake all the way back up to 5th place now. And indeed, we will get up into 5th place. You can see on the top left, we're 5 out of 21. So unfortunately, not able to gain on Hulkenberg. You can see on the mini-map, the gap is actually insanely huge to Hulkenberg. So no chance of getting on that podium or even 4th place. So it looks like we'll just be trying to keep 5th place at the moment. As we come to lap 15, we're doing just that right now. Ricciardo on the back of me in 6th place on lap 15. He's caught up to me. Looks like he's overtaken Magnussen, who was in 6th place as we came through on that previous lap. So Ricciardo right behind me now. As you can see, I'm struggling on the rears to really get the traction down, even on that left-hander, which is usually flat in the dry. Really struggling coming out this next corner now, really trying to get the power down, but the car is just moving to the left-hand side of the track as I try to defend and kind of snap the oversteer out. And Ricciardo is really getting on me now through the corners and down the straight. Will he try and have us? Here we go. Ricciardo there. The proximity arrow is coming. He's trying to get us on the left. We're just trying to defend our position as best we can. We're just taking the racing line, really. So I don't know what Ricciardo was doing as we come through the first corner, getting a lot of oversteer through there. Going to have to be quite careful through the second corner. Really sliding now. It's really like we're on ice. And Magnussen is now overtaking Ricciardo. Looks like we slowed down Ricciardo a bit with our tank slappers. Apologies there, mate. But Magnussen is now behind us. I can't really do too much about my tank slappers, and we're trying to control it, but the rear is just completely letting go. It's like we're on ice, and again there you can see our car just twitch to the left. Magnussen's right behind me, going wide there again on lap 17. We're still doing the same thing. Even my teammate now got into the action. He's overtaken Magnussen now, so kind of Massa, Magnussen and Ricciardo kind of taking turns to try and attack me. And as you can see through there, just losing the rear, I'm completely on ice here. It's like driving on ice at the moment, and Massa easily gets past me down the inside. You know, I didn't put up much of a fight against him because he is my teammate, but he did get me fair and square. He did have the better traction through that corner, and we really couldn't hold him up anymore. And through his left-hander, you can see I'm having to go so wide to get the power down that Ricciardo just swoops past me like he's just driving on the dry and I'm in the wet. It's just insane. And even Maldonado in the Lotus is right behind me. I'm getting onto the grass nearly there, and Maldonado is right behind me. He's going to have a look on the left-hand side of the track, but I think he's going to back out of it onto lap 18 right now, and Maldonado is really on me now. So, and here you can see on lap 18, on the end of that lap 18, Magnussen's now got me down the inside. He's completely just done me down the inside, the same corner Massa did. And as you can see, I'm really struggling going left and right on the track, and through that corner, really losing the back end, sliding through, power sliding through, and here through the left-hander, just completely ridiculous. Just look at the amount of grip, or lack of grip, shall I say, that there is. I know the tyres are going off as well, but it is just insane. I mean, what is it? Vern is just overtaken me down the inside of that last corner. Insane. But now here, actually, we're going to try and get back on Vern. We've actually got the speed on this Toro Rosso, so we're going to try and slipstream during Vern. The engineer wants us to come in. We're going to stay out one more lap. Here we go on the right-hand side of Vern. Let's try and overtake him to retake 8th place. Around the outside, Alonso is on the back of me. Got on the grass a tiny bit. Going through the first corner. Big snap of oversteer, and we've completely got that wrong. And we're into the wall. And that's race over. DNF. What can I say? Disappointing. Our teammate gets 6th place. Ricciardo gets up quite high there. We're still in 3rd place in the championship, 3 points ahead of Alonso, but yeah, very frustrating. Just put the throttle a bit too much into the first corner, try to correct it by snapping it right, and completely went wrong because the rain just aquaplaned us on the right, and then obviously we got onto the runoff area, and that kind of slammed us straight into the wall. Unfortunate, guys, but if you guys did enjoy that video nonetheless, give it a like, comment below what you thought, subscribe if you're new for weekly F1. The finale of this career mode series will be coming hopefully on the weekend at Abu Dhabi with double points, so that should be a good outcome. But if you guys did enjoy this episode, then do give it a like. All the likes do support this series completely. It's been amazing support so far. Hope you can continue that. I've been aarava. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Subscribe if you're new for weekly F1 content, and I will see you guys next time.